Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not you will be paying taxes on your student loan debt cancellation. All right, I know a few weeks ago, I was on a roll with the student loan videos, and I said they were not going to be stopping. I meant that. I haven't talked about student loans specifically for videos in a couple of weeks, but they are here, they are coming. This one specifically is going to be about paying taxes on student loans, and we're going to get into that. I do have more videos planned around this, and there's just going to be more to come because nothing is actually set in stone yet. Nothing is, there's just a lot of unknowns around the student loan debt cancellation and lots of dates going on. Lots of things are going to be happening over the next few months. So I'm going to keep on trying to keep you updated with all of this information because it can be a bit confusing. So I have my notebook here. I can't memorize these things, I'm sorry, so you'll see me looking down to make sure I get everything right. But today we're going to be talking about whether or not you will need to pay taxes on your student loan debt. So I did talk about this a little bit in one of my videos about the student loan debt cancellation, just the general video, the first video I made talking about this, so I can link that down below. It goes through the details of the debt relief plan, which there's even more to come on that because I want to go further into the third part of this debt relief plan, which has to do with future students and people who still will owe money on their student loans, who still have student loan debt after the cancellation. But anyways, I did mention it a little bit in that video, and I had said that we will not be responsible for paying taxes on the student loan debt cancellation. So whether you get $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000, any amount in between, $0 to $20,000 canceled in student loan debt, you will not have to pay taxes federally. You will not have to pay federal taxes. And that is something that I failed to mention or failed to clarify because that may not be the case when it comes to state income taxes. The bulk of us will not be paying taxes on cancellation, state taxes on cancellation. So 100% you will not be paying federal taxes on any forgiveness or cancellation of your student loan debt. The American Rescue Plan of 2021 protects us from that. And with that rescue plan, any student loan debt that is canceled through 2025 or forgiven through 2025, you will not be responsible for paying federal taxes on. That is really good news because if we did have to pay federal taxes, that would not benefit a lot of people. I mean, it would still be beneficial, but it would also put a lot of people in a bad situation because I think even aside from cancellation, a lot of people struggle with paying their taxes properly, or if you owe taxes and then you have a big tax bill come April and then you have to have a plan. Taxes are just a pain. So we definitely don't want federal taxes on this, and I'm very glad that that's not going to be happening. But there are a few states that do need to be careful with the state income taxes, and I'm going to go through those 7 right now. Before I get into the 7 states, I will say that, again, this is not set in stone. Everything is kind of just in the air right now. This is all kind of unknown and anything could change. So if something changes with this, I will update you here on YouTube. I will make another video or put another post up, anything of that sort. But if you live in one of these 7 states, then you definitely want to be paying more attention to student loan debt cancellation and just keep an eye on the status of things. But just because you're on here now, it doesn't mean that you necessarily will be there forever. So you may not have to pay income taxes on your cancellation come the end of the year. So there are 4 states of the 7 that seem pretty set on taxing their people. The first one is Indiana. Second one is Minnesota. Third one is Mississippi. And the fourth one is North Carolina. However, I did see a lot of articles on North Carolina where their governor was trying to get this waived, the income taxes waived. His name is Governor Roy Cooper. And I saw an article specifically that said Governor Roy Cooper calls on General Assembly to waive state income taxes. So North Carolina is probably one of the states that also is kind of on the fence about it. So maybe North Carolina will not have to be paying state taxes, but as of right now, they said that you will be responsible for that. And then there are 3 states that will likely pay state taxes, but again, up in the air. One is Arkansas, another is California, and then the third is Wisconsin. I did see something about Massachusetts that you will likely not have to pay state income taxes, but they haven't really said much about it. But that's like the one state that I didn't see over and over again. But Massachusetts, it's possible. If you are in the rest of the states, then you will not have to pay income taxes. I don't think that will be changing whatsoever. It's just for these 7 or 8 that you may. I have seen some figures thrown around about how much you would pay per amount forgiven. So if you have $10,000 of student loan debt canceled, you would have to pay like $525 in state taxes. But I don't think that's right. I'm not sure if that's for a specific state or what the case may be with that number. I've seen it a couple of times. I think it's more so dependent on your total income and also the state that you live in, depending on what they actually tax you as a state. So my suggestion, if you live in one of these states, is of course to just stay on top of everything, because there's nothing to do right now. The cancellation hasn't gone through. It's probably not going to go through until November, December, January. So I wouldn't stress about it until you actually, get your debt canceled and you actually figure out whether or not you will have to pay state taxes. But if you are in a state that does end up having to pay taxes on this cancellation, I would suggest saving about $600 per $10,000 of cancellation to be on the safe side. So that way, when you're filing your taxes for 2022, you will have enough money set aside to just pay that and get it out of the way. The other thing with taxes is, just because you may owe money for this cancellation for your state taxes, it doesn't mean that you are gonna have to pay anything per se, because when you actually file your taxes, you know how it usually works. Like if you get a large refund every year, then maybe you're just not going to get as large of a refund because you have to pay state taxes on this. Just keep in mind that this is separate from federal. So if you're used to getting a large federal tax refund, then you could use that money to, put toward this. Obviously it's separate, so you'd have to make that payment separate if you did end up owing. Or if you get a larger state income tax refund, then it will kind of balance out, and instead you will have to get like a $200 refund instead of $1,000, or a no refund at all, or you may owe some money come April. Either way, I would say it's just a good rule of thumb to have some money saved up. So $600 per $10,000 I think is a decent amount, and then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. In the grand scheme of things, it's okay. Like this, I know it kind of sucks to be one of those 7 states who may be paying state taxes, and there's probably going to be, if not all of these states, a few of these states that will have to pay taxes, and I'm sorry, it's unfortunate. That's just, how it just depends on where you live. Like I said, in the grand scheme of things, it's not too big of a deal, because it is still canceling $10,000 of student loan debt, or $20,000 of student loan debt, and that's pretty significant. Overall, I wouldn't stress about it too much. Just keep up with the news on this, and I will try my best to keep you all updated here as well. If you haven't requested a refund yet, I would just go ahead and do that. So if you paid any of your student loan debt since the beginning of the forbearance, so since March 2020, you can request a refund on that. I will put my video in the description box if you're interested in learning more about that. I would just go ahead and request the refund, especially if you're in these 7 states, so you can get your full cancellation. We still don't know the status of that. Stay on top of any dates. Otherwise, make sure you sign up for the email so you can apply for the forgiveness, the cancellation. And if you're in one of these 7 states, either start saving now or just expect to owe money in 2023 for your 2022 taxes, and you may want to have some cash around by then at least. So that is it for this video. I know it's not very interesting or fun. It kind of is just sucky news, but I wanted to make sure that you all are informed on this. Definitely comment down below if you're in one of these 7 states. I want to make sure that I, if I see like an overwhelming amount of people in a certain state of these 7, then I could focus more on that area. But either way, I'm going to try and stay on top of this. More to come on student loans. If you have any specific requests, please also feel free to comment those down below. Thank you for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.